Hey, good day, folks. Welcome to another episode of Andrew's Life. I hope everyone's doing wonderful today. I welcome you guys in a minute here. We're going to be entering in the city of Jonesboro, Indiana. So, when I get into the city limits, I will start my commentary. Alright, folks, we're getting ready to enter in the city of Jonesboro, Indiana. So I'm going to go ahead and begin my commentary. Now, Jonesboro, Indiana is it's a town that is located between the central region and the northeast region of Indiana. It's kind of in between those two regions of the state. It is located. Jonesboro is an hour south of Fort Wayne, and it's about an hour and 15 minutes north of Indianapolis. And Jonesboro is also located conveniently to many other larger communities. Like Jonesboro is located in an area that they call the Tri-City area. You got Jonesboro, you got Gas City, which I've done a video of Gas City, so feel free to go check it out. And of course, you got Marion, which I've done a few videos of Marion as well. So Jonesboro, Gas City, and Marion are all located right by each other. It's a triangle. I mean, maybe not so much a triangle, but they call it the Tri-City area. Because all three of these cities are by each other. And of course, Jonesboro is going to be the smaller of the three. And then you got Gas City, and then after Gas City, you got Marion. Now, Jonesboro being a smaller community, there's not a whole lot of amenities here in Jonesboro. Now, there's some smaller communities I've recorded that had decent amenities. Now, one thing about Jonesboro, which is negative, is you do not have a lot of good amenities here in Jonesboro. However, on the positive note, you can drive next door in the Gas City, which actually from Jonesboro, Gas City is going to actually be a little closer than Marion. So you drive next door in the Gas City, that's where most of your amenities are going to be at. Like you need to take your vehicle somewhere for auto service. Now there are a couple of mechanics here in Jonesboro, but if you're looking to move to Jonesboro, I've been told I got a couple of friends that live here in Jonesboro, so I've been here in Jonesboro a fair amount of times, and the people and my friends who live here in Jonesboro, they have a mechanic that they go to next door in Gas City. And when it comes to looking for a nice restaurant to go out to eat at, most people that live here in Jonesboro, they'll typically go into Gas City for that. Now you can go to Marion too, but I see more people from Jonesboro go out to eat in Gas City. Now when it comes to your grocery shopping, now Gas City does have a grocery store, which is I want to say it's a regional chain. I think it's within the state of Indiana. I think it's more regional. But if you're looking for something a little larger, with a larger variety of food and produce, then you're going to want to go into Marion. Because you go into Marion, of course, they got Walmart. And then they have another store which is far better than Walmart, called Myers. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, that is one thing which I miss about living in Indiana. I've been here in Alabama now for a little over a month, and I'm already missing. And one thing I miss about Indiana is the groceries, or the grocery stores. Now, Myers, I like Myers. I feel Myers for the most part. Which, by the way, if you're looking to go to a Myers, it's going to be in Marion. But Myers is a very good store if you're not familiar with it. It's they pretty much have everything you'll find at Walmart. The difference is the quality of food and produce that you'll find at Myers is going to be, in my opinion, far better than what you'll find at Walmart. Now the prices are going to be a little higher, but in my humble opinion, it's worth it. Not only is the merchandise better, but their customer service is also better. The people who work at Myers tend to have a little bit more pride in their job, and the staff and the workers, in my opinion, tend to be a little bit more, higher class, to put it in layman's terms. So for your amenities, you got Gas City, and then you got Marion. Now, when it comes to grocery shopping, you're better off going to Marion. When it comes to going out to eat, going to a nice restaurant, honestly, I'd rather go to Gas City. But that's me. Now, Marion does have certain restaurants that you won't find in Gas City. Now, I can't tell you off the top of my head what they are because I don't go out to eat that much. So if you're looking for a larger variety of places to choose from when it comes to going out to eat, then you're going to be better off going to Marion if you don't want to travel real far. And of course, when it comes to entertainment, you're only an hour away from Fort Wayne. You're only an hour and 15 minutes from Indianapolis. So that's another plus about Jonesboro, in my opinion, is the fact that you are not super far from larger cities. Jonesboro is almost smack dab in the middle, or between rather, two major metro areas. And I would say that Jonesboro is almost smack dab in the middle of two of the largest, and in my opinion, the best metro areas in the state of Indiana. Now I say the best because I'm primarily talking about entertainment and I'm also talking about the economy. So I will say there's plenty of jobs to be had. If you're looking to move here to Jonesboro, there's plenty of employment opportunities. I mean, not so much in Jonesboro, but and also you're only a half hour from Kokomo, which is a growing city, by the way. Which I got that video on my channel as well, so feel free to go check it out. And for whatever it's worth, you're only about a half hour away from Anderson. So Jonesboro is very close to many larger cities. So rather you need to do your grocery shopping, rather you need to take your automobile to a mechanic, rather you're looking for employment, whatever it is you need, you will be able to find it within a half hour of here, guaranteed. If you don't find what you want or need within a half hour here, it's because you're lazy. I'm just saying. So anyways, the population here is 1,500. Oh, and also before I continue, I also want to mention that Jonesboro is also the home of the Jonesboro River Fest, which they hold here once a year in September. And the River Fest is basically it's basically a motorcycle festival. I mean, they hold it once a year for Friday and Saturday and Sunday, and they typically will hold They typically will hold what they call the Jonesboro River Fest on the third week of September. And basically, you got a bunch of people with their motorcycles. They'll come to downtown Jonesboro, which is where the rally is held. They'll ride around the city. And they'll show off their motorcycles, basically. Basically, they'll show off their motorcycles. Now, during this time of the year, during the River Fest, Jonesboro is going to be super busy. Gas City is going to be super busy. All your restaurants in Gas City are going to be super busy. Now, during the River Fest weekend, Marion doesn't seem to get a lot of the River Fest traffic as Jonesboro and Gas City will get. So yeah, if you're not from Indiana and you want an excuse to visit Indiana, come down, come up here during the third week of September, and go to the River Fest in Jonesboro. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Let's see what else. So anyhow, and the city of Jonesboro was named after a man named Obadiah. Well, you know what? I'm not even going to try to pronounce this man's name. Give me a second. I'm going to look it up real quick. Alright, folks. I had to look it up real quick. I'm going to butcher his name anyways, but whatever. But anyhow, Jonesboro was named after now the part of no what never mind. Anyhow, Jonesboro was named after a man named of Obadiah. That's the name that's his first name. And his last name is Jones. And that's how Jonesboro got his name. And I know I butchered the hell out that man's name. I don't mean no disrespect. Y'all know me. I'm not good at pronouncing these weird names. But anyways, the population of Jonesboro is 1,516 people, and this city has lost 13.7% of its population as of the 2020 census. the population used to be 1,756 people during the 2010 census. Now, this city has been losing people since the 1980 census, the last census year that this city has gained population, which it was during 1970. Now, during the 1970 census, this city gained 9% population. And the population at that time was 2,466 people. And that is also the population peak of Jonesboro. And I would say, on average, Jonesboro has been losing 9.2% of its population every census year. And, of course, every census year means every 10 years. Because that's when they do census. Now, the racial demographics here are going to be as followed. And the 95.7% white, 0.9% black, just a little under 1%, and 2.1% Hispanic. And another good thing about Jonesboro is the crime here is fairly low. Overall crime here is 72.4% lower than the state average, and 58.3% lower than the national average. Violent crime is 74.8% lower than the state average, 62.1% lower than the national average. Property crime is 12.1% lower than the national average. So crime here in Jonesboro is fairly low. And Jonesboro, for the most part, is a fairly quiet and peaceful city. And from my experience coming here to Jonesboro, like I said, I got a couple of friends who live here, so I do come here to visit. And and I gotta say, my experience here in Jonesboro has been pretty good. Every time I come here, people are always nice. People always are nice. Whenever I go to they have a gas station here in town. I think it's called Circle K, if I can remember. But every time I go in there, the customer service is always good. I never, the times I've been here in Jonesboro, I never had any issues with nobody. And there's a reason why I point that out. I point that out because Jonesboro, like Gas City next door, both used to be sundown towns. And, as I tell you guys on these kind of videos, every small town is not created equal. And just because a town may have been a former sundown town doesn't mean they necessarily practice that type of stuff today. Now, I will say, I did talk to a couple of people that kind of gave me the scoop of Jonesboro's history and how, well, not so much the history, but their experience in Jonesboro. And, the couple of people I spoke to, they told me that they used to live here and their experience here has been negative. There's this one woman that, she's white and she's got a couple of biracial children because the baby father is black. And she told me that the local law enforcement used to harass her on a regular basis. And they would even harass her children. And it got so bad that she had to leave Jonesboro and move next door into Marion. Now, I don't know how true her story is. I'm just telling you what she told me. But like I told you guys, from my personal experience here in Jonesboro, I have had no issues with nobody. Now, granted, I don't live here, and neither do I have any children, so I'm just, but my experience here has been good. That's all I can tell you guys. I mean, despite that Jonesboro used to be a sundown town, my experience here has been good. Like I said, I got a couple of friends that live here. And every time I come here to visit, I never have any issues with law enforcement. In fact, there were a couple of times that I was speeding and I sped right by a law enforcement officer. They didn't do nothing. They didn't do nothing. Now, since I'm talking about sundown towns, I mean, next door, Gas City. There used to be a sundown town as well. Now, although in Gas City, I haven't had any issues with anybody in Gas City. I mean, for the most part, people in Gas City were always nice to me. Now, I will say in Gas City, if I ever had to drive through Gas City at night, which I've done plenty of times, whenever I left Jonesboro to go home back when I was here in Indiana, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I did pay very close attention to my speed because Gas City likes to pull people over. And I'm not talking so much a racial situation. I'm talking like you got those towns or those cities to where, people just know that the local law enforcement, they can be, they can be super anal when it comes to your speed. Like if the speed limit is, let's say, 40 miles an hour and you're going, let's say, 43, they'll pull you over and give you a ticket. That's basically how the law enforcement in Gas City is. But other than that, I mean, I haven't had any issues in Gas City from anybody, not even law enforcement. Now, if you asked me which place would I rather live, Jonesboro or Gas City, honestly, I pick Jonesboro. I mean, for one, housing in Jonesboro is a little cheaper. And two, the residents in Jonesboro just seem a little bit more laid back and a little easier going than in Gas City. Now, another negative thing which I will bring up about Jonesboro is if you're wanting to move to Jonesboro, utilities here are a little high. Like I said, I got a couple of friends who live here, and they tell me that their water bill is close to $100 a month. A water bill, $100 a month. Let that register for a minute. Not electric, not even gas, water. So utilities here in Jonesboro are a little high. So if you're looking to move to Jonesboro, just bear that in mind and budget accordingly. But I would say, all in all, as long as you don't have an issue with paying high water bills, I would say, all in all, Jonesboro, in my opinion, would be a wonderful place for somebody to reside. I mean, for the most part, the people here are nice. It's a quiet little town. Crime is low. And right now, there are no houses up for sale. I mean, every house that was up for sale is currently pending an offer. So there's currently no active listings here in Jonesboro, at least according to Realtor.com, there isn't. So Jonesboro it's fair for me to say that Jonesboro is a heavily sought after area. Because what's going on is you got a lot of people that are fed up with Marion. They're fed up with the crime. They're fed up with just the madness that's going on in Marion. Now I understand Marion's got a new mayor, and I'm assuming that he's trying to do his thing to make Marion a better place. Hopefully he does for the sake of the residents who live in Marion. But at this point, you got a lot of people that live in Marion, and they're moving to Gas City in Jonesboro. Now, Gas City is a little pricey in my opinion. In fact, it's way too pricey in Gas City. So for those who either can't afford Gas City or they don't want to pay the price tag to be in Gas City, they're moving here to Jonesboro. And also you got a few people moving here from even Kokomo. Because you got some people that, they don't really want to live in the city no more. So, and they don't want to necessarily live in the middle of nowhere. So, they pick little towns like Jonesboro. So, even though Jonesboro is losing people left and right, you still got a fair amount of people moving here from Marion and Kokomo and Anderson. So despite the population decline, it's still a good place to live. Now, I will say when it comes to the Jonesboro downtown area, again, there's not much going on downtown Jonesboro. In fact, the majority of the buildings in the downtown area are vacant. There's only a few buildings downtown that are occupied. Most of the buildings in downtown are vacant. But despite that, I still say Jonesboro is a good place to live. It's relatively, I want to say it's relatively affordable. And it's quiet. But if you come across a house that's for sale here in Jonesboro that's priced lower than a couple $100,000, you better hurry up and grab your realtor and have them show you the house and at least get it on contract if you want to buy it. Now, obviously, you're going to want to hire a home inspector and do all your due diligence, but I'm just saying Jonesboro is a heavily sought after area here in Grant County. And when it comes to the school system in Jonesboro, well, the school system gets a B minus. So the school system here, it's decent. It's above average. And I would say, Jonesboro also has a little park, which, it's got a playground, and it also, it's got a little playground, and I believe I forgot what the walking trail was called, but I believe it has a walking trail that it will take you all the way into a larger park in Gas City. Now, I did a video on this channel of the park in Gas City. I forgot what the park was called, but it's on this channel. Alright, folks. That's about all I gotta say on the commentary here. I don't know what else to tell you guys. Everything which I feel was relevant, I said. I don't want to repeat myself too many times here. So, if you like the video, if you like what I do on the channel, give videos like this a thumbs up. And if you have not subscribed to the channel yet, consider doing that. And on that note, I'm going to also take this opportunity to thank everybody for tuning in and watching another episode of Andrew's Life. And for those of you that have subscribed recently or you've been leaving comments in the comment section, I appreciate your support. Okay, on that note, stay blessed. Catch you guys on the next one. I want to mention one more thing. If you're looking to move here and you don't want to buy a house, you just want to rent something, I would say for around $700 a month, you should be able to find either an apartment or a house to rent. I just wanted to add that real quick. All right, folks, that's all I got. Stay blessed.